Hello and welcome to Arts Talk Radio. I'm Michael Hasted. We bring you interviews as well as news and reviews relating to all aspects of the arts in Holland, concentrating on events in Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam and everything in between or nearby.
Arts Talk Radio Online. Interviews and features on the arts in English.
We have dedicated this week's programme to one topic, the Delft Chamber Music Festival, which this year celebrates its 25th anniversary. The festival has been under the artistic direction of violinist Liza Ferschtman since 2007, but now there's a new director, and I met up with her at the festival's historic main venue, the Mandelazaal in the Prinsenhof in Delft.
I'm Nino Gvetadze, pianist and artistic director of Delft Chamber Music Festival.
And this is your first full year. I think last year you did the second half, the second week, with Liza Ferschtman, who's been the artistic director for many years. What changes will there be under your leadership?
Yes, indeed. It's my full festival. Last year I took over the second week. Well, I think the biggest change for the festival is that I'm a pianist, because it's been run by two violinists before me. So Liza Ferschtman before, and before that Isabelle van Keulen, who actually founded this festival. That would be, I guess, the biggest change program-wise, because probably because I'm a pianist, maybe there is more piano at this stage than it used to be. But naturally, the core of the festival, which is to have a theme and then to have programmed programs around the theme, and then to have a high quality chamber music that will stay naturally. What we added is and that we started actually already last year in my week, we added the Delft Chamber Music Academy, which is for young people. There used to be concerts for young musicians, but they would just play recitals, and now we decided to put them together in a chamber group. So they rehearse together, they get master classes, and then they perform piano quintet or a quartet, whatever they choose basically. And I also like to have some multimedia productions that they used to have here as well, but we are developing this line as well. So yeah, just a few little things that are adding up. Because
last year there was a theme, a Brave New World. Do you have a named theme this year?
Yes, this year it's people and stories. I thought it would be nice to start the festival with some stories about personalities that we don't know maybe that well, or maybe people that we actually know, but there are some stories that we haven't heard yet, or they're forgotten. So yes, this is the theme of the festival, and of course it became personal to me. So I chose the stories, and I chose the people and musicians and composers that are very close to my heart.
Because you're from Georgia.
Yes.
So what brought you to the Netherlands?
I came here to study a very long time ago. First I studied in The Hague with Paul Coleman, and then I did my master's in Amsterdam with Jan Wijn, and then there were a couple of competitions that came along, and I was lucky to get the prizes, and I love the city, and it's easy to travel, and I'm anyway very often in Georgia as well, so I decided to stay here.
Now, as you say, with Liza, because she was a violinist, there were a lot of violin pieces, because the artistic director and you yourself will be playing in a lot of the concerts. So I imagine there is more of an emphasis on piano this year.
Exactly, yes. And also Indeed, of course, there are pieces as well that are without piano and that they are only for strings or for voice or for wind instruments. But as an artistic director, I try to be on almost every concert and to play something at sometimes bigger pieces, sometimes smaller pieces. But in any case, piano is always somehow there, and I try to make it as versatile as possible. So we have chamber music pieces, but we also have concertos that composers themselves played with chamber groups. For example, Chopin Second that he often played with his friends, and Beethoven 4 we are playing this time, which he himself transformed it for a chamber group. So yes, indeed, there is a little bit more piano, perhaps.
And there's also been quite a lot of contemporary pieces. Is that the balance of that going to be the same this year?
Well, yes, we commissioned actually 3 pieces specially for this edition, and the first I would like to name is Maro. That's a multimedia performance. It's a monodrama, actually. It's for the string quartet, piano, and a singer, and it was written. The music has been written by Thomas Beyer, Dutch pianist and composer, and he also makes animations for this piece. And Maro, she was a very special personality. In Georgia, she's a little bit like Anne Frank, and she used to live in the beginning of 20th century, and she wrote a diary, and she's very famous in Georgia, and I wanted to bring her here as well to Europe, where she always dreamed to go and dreamed to travel, but due to the political situation at that time in Georgia, where the Soviet army came in, well, she went to help the army, to help the Red Cross, and in a couple of days she was gone. So, but she was a very interesting personality. She was a granddaughter of a very famous writer. Her grandmother was a very, very famous writer, and her friends were poets and musicians, and she adored classical music. She went to opera, she went to theater, she wrote the reviews, and she fought for human rights and for the rights of a female then, because it was important to get married and to have family and kids, but she really wanted to be independent and work. So I think it's very even though the story happened 100 years ago, I see lots of examples, similar examples today. So I think it's very important that we remember the story and we can relate to that today as well, especially what's happening around us and with the war in Ukraine. I think it's important to tell that story. So that's the biggest commission that we have this year. Then the very interesting one, it's for our anniversary concert, because Delft Chamber Music Festival is 25 years old, and I wanted to have 3 artistic directors on the stage, because that's very special, I think. And so Isabelle van Keulen will be here, but because Liza Ferschtman is traveling to the United States to play concerts, it was impossible to schedule her as well, to have her actually in Delft. But we commissioned a piece that was written by Georgian composer Eka Chabashvili, and it's called Three Graces of Delft, and it's after the play of Beckett, Come and Go. So we will be playing here in Delft on the stage, me and Isabelle, and Lisa will join us by Skype.
Because I think last year Lisa did a concert where she was playing with herself, and they were projected on the screen behind her or something like that.
Yes, that was better, but that was pre-recorded. No. And we also did, so Eka Chabashvili also wrote a piece that was played in the second week by 2 pianists. One was in Delft and another was in Georgia. And that was synchronized, so it was happening at the same time. It was really a phone call, because that's what the reality became.
But aren't there problems with latency if you do it over Skype?
No, well, might be, but she considers it. So the way she writes, anything can happen, but it's but you can adjust it in a very subtle way that it actually, the piece is only becomes even richer.
So you don't have to keep speeding up and slowing down all the time?
No, it's very relaxed and it's very interesting and it's theatrical in a way, so I'm very much looking forward.
Arts Talk Radio Online. Interviews and features on the arts in English.
I'm with Nino Gvetadze, the new artistic director of the Delft Chamber Music Festival. Now, when you were a child, was it your parents who wanted you to take piano lessons, or was it your idea?
Well, I wanted that very much because my parents aren't musicians.
But was there a piano in the house?
Yes, there was a piano in the house, obviously, because that's generally a little bit about Georgia, because everyone sings. It's a little bit like Italy. And either they have a piano at home or a guitar, because at the parties somebody will sing, so someone will accompany the singer. So we had a piano upright, and my grandmother used to play a little bit. She was an amateur, not really. I cannot really call her a pianist, but she knew some chords, I would say. And I started by myself, and I composed a few pieces. And the first one was a waltz, because I adored dancing.
Using both hands?
Yes. I adored dancing, and my favorites were, when I was little, the Strauss waltzes. And I composed the first waltz in F sharp major, and I still remember it. I can even play for you. It's really funny how things work. Yeah.
Do you still play it?
I don't really play it, but I remember it. I really remember it, yes.
Your new CD, which I think, well, not newish, came out in February, is the Beethoven Piano Concertos. Is that a favourite of yours?
Number 4 is definitely one of my favourites. I've been playing it for many years and with different orchestras, and until today, every time I play it, it's a joy beyond, I don't know, everything. I always enjoy it, and it's not only enjoying, it's just the magic of music, especially the slow movement, but also the first and the last, the feast, which is in the last movement, is incredible. And there is also, on the CD, there's this violin concerto, which was originally, so Beethoven wrote it as a violin concerto, but very soon afterwards Clementi asked him, could you maybe write a piano version of it, which he did very soon, and he added an incredibly beautiful cadenza with timpani, which is even often played by violinists as well. So we stole from them basically the concerto, and they stole from us the whole cadenza. So it's a very funny story very interesting story of this piece. Generally, I love Beethoven, and playing his concertos is always a joy. Yes.
There must be pieces that you are not forced to play, but asked to play, and you think, oh no, not that again.
I try to avoid them. Yeah. I do, yes. Yeah, I try to.
So, I mean, when you do a concert, I mean, obviously here you have a choice, but generally when you do a concert, do you choose what you play, or does a promoter ask you to play?
Well, in a recital, I'm free, of course, and or I can offer a couple of options, for example, for the programs, and they can choose from. And with a concerto, we always discuss it mostly with a conductor, but there has been also a moment when the conductor wanted a certain piece, or the orchestra wanted a certain piece, and I learned it specially for that, and I was very happy. For example, like this, I discovered, I didn't discover, I knew it, of course, but it's very rarely played, Tchaikovsky's Second Concerto, for example, or the Dohnányi Variations on a nursery theme, which is a fantastic piece, and I wouldn't just learn it by myself, because it's not one of the traditional concerti. So sometimes it's a surprise, and a really beautiful surprise, and so this is how it happens. But normally there is a list. I mean, I have my repertoire of concertos, and they can choose from them.
How many concertos or pieces?
Hard to, about 20.
And how long would it take you to learn a new one?
Depends. If it's a Mozart concerto, one can learn. Of course, it's in 1 or 2 weeks, but depends. I mean, if it's a big concerto, it depends on the deadline. It's, of course, for the piece, it's the longer you play it, better it gets. And even if you take it again after a year, then it's even better. But sometimes there is a quick deadline, so you have to jump in and you have to learn something very quickly.
Because you have been playing quite a long time, I think. How old were you for your first public appearance?
I was 5.
What did you play?
I remember what I played on with the orchestra. That was when I was 7. I played with orchestra, and that was a Handel concerto. And later, the 1 year later, I played the Bach F minor, that I remember. As a solo piece, I think I played Bach Prelude, but I'm not sure. I can't remember really well. But I was 5 years old. But I started playing when I was 4, so I was in the music school when I was 5, so I had my first concert. I love playing in the halls where it sounds beautiful, because I love the beauty of the sound itself that comes out of the piano. And then if the acoustic is great, and then you can really make beautiful colors create colors out of this instrument, that makes it. Can be in a church somewhere, it can be in big or small concert hall, it doesn't matter, but as long as it's a good instrument, good acoustics, and people and the public that appreciate it, and really you feel this energy, then I'm happy.
Okay, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
That was Nino Gvetadze, the new artistic director of the Delft Chamber Music Festival. The extracts were from her new album of Beethoven's Piano Concerto, with fire in the orchestra of Gelderland and Overijssel, conducted by Benjamin Levy, and that's on the Challenge Classics label. So that's all from this edition of Arts Talk Radio. I'm Michael Hasted. Goodbye.